Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Do you know who said this? Give me the man and I'll find you the crime. That is, show me whomever you want me to incarcerate for you. Well, that was a Soviet, a Georgian, chief of the then Soviet secret police, like CIA. I'm just kidding. So this guy said, show me the man, I will find you the crime. And this is the situation, the case in Romania right now. Calin Georgescu was shown as the man and they found a crime. He is indicted for something that could be interpreted that a lot of people could be indicted for breaking the law, which is free speech. You can't talk about certain things. Well, I'm not saying promoting certain things, but let's say bringing evidence. I will show you in this video how a few individuals in charge of some countries are capable of killing our leaders. I will give you two examples here. I will give you the Tsarist Russia example with Tsar Nikolai and his family in the basement. And I will give you Romania as an example. And I will give you Ceausescu. And then I will make a connection, or you make the connection if you want. If you don't do it, between those actions and why Calin Georgescu was indicted and charged with what exactly. I'm not making the connection, I'm just providing you some facts, and I'm not drawing any conclusions. You do if you want, or if you don't, that's fine. I hope this will help. So let's start with this one. Give me the man and I will give you the case against him. Or give me the man, I will give you the case against him. All right, or English more literally as give me the man, there'll be a paragraph for him. And it could be, give me a man and I will find the crime, or show me the man and I'll show you the crime. Is a saying that was popularized in Soviet Union and Poland in the period of People's Republic of Poland, attributed to the Stalinist era Soviet Andrei Vyshinsky or the Soviet secret police chief Lavrentiy Beria. All right? Now I will show you who Beria is. He was the chief of the NKVD. But before we go there, here is the guy. He is Georgian. All right? He is Georgian. He was, no, we're not going to go to that why, but he was doing that as well. So he was in charge of the NKVD from 38 to 46. And then he got screwed. All right? This is the guy. This is the article that we're going to discuss today. New Voice of Ukraine. Romania's pro-Russian candidate charged with fascism propaganda. Now, this is the New Voice of Ukraine. Let me tell you what's going on here. The Russians accused that there are some elements in Ukraine, including the Ukrainian government, with fascist inclinations, ideology. So the Russians accuse the Ukrainians, or whomever is in charge of Ukraine. Then New Voice of Ukraine, the article is Ukrainian. And they tell about the Calin Georgescu, who should have been the president of Romania, I think. He is charged with fascism propaganda, but he is pro-Russian. Do you understand? All right. So New Voice of Ukraine does the dirty job of linking the Russians with fascism through this guy, Calin Georgescu, who is accused of or charged with fascist propaganda. You know what I mean? So the fascists like Putin cannot claim that the Jewish guy in charge of Ukraine could possibly, have any inclinations, or the people around him who take care of him say it. All right, let's move on. I'm not saying, I'm just mentioning things here. Former Romanian presidential candidate, this is Calin Georgescu, faces trial for, I'm quoting, publicly promoting fascist ideology during his political career, according to a statement by Romania's General Prosecutor's Office in July 3rd. So Calin Georgescu was a candidate who won, surprisingly, the first run of the Romanian presidential elections, together with a baboon, Lasconi, a woman who knows nothing. But she might be in charge of us pretty soon, or you, or me if I show up. And everybody was like, what's going on with this guy? This guy seems logical, a little bit mysticism, religion, Romanians first, Romanian this. So that runs against what we are supposed to ingest, we, as a Romanians, you know what I mean? Which is diversity, inclusion, and take a shit on your history, your leaders, and your ancestors, and love money. That's it. So he won, and before they were supposed to go for the second round of the runoff elections, the second one, he was disqualified. The elections were cancelled, and the first results were cancelled, and then they barred him from running again, and so on, and now they charge him. They take care of him. Set an example for all of us, that if you say the wrong things that they don't like, and I'm showing you who they are, I'm not going to connect dots. You will connect dots. All right. So let's see what the guy said, correct? Although the statement omits the name of the person in question, has established, this is Radio Free Europe, free my ass, has established that the prosecutors were indeed referring to Georgescu. And I'm quoting that right here. He is charged with publicly promoting the cult of persons guilty of committing crimes of genocide against humanity and war crimes. Is this Moses? Is by any chance Moses? Because he destroyed, erased a lot of city-states at the orders of, and you can read my books, God's Nature, I got 2 of them, and you can read over there with verses from the Old Testament where he tells his generals, because they're all generals then, how they called goat herders were generals, to go and everybody in the city, but spare the virgin women. I wonder why. I think they work harder in the field, or at herding. They were not working in the field because they were not planters. They were plunderers. Okay, so, but Moses is the 10 Commandments, he's a nice guy, Hollywood tells you. And your professors. All right, humanitarian crimes as well as act of promoting in public fascist, legionary, racist, or xenophobic ideas, concepts, and doctrines. There you go. So in Romania, you go to jail for something like this. You got it? You go to jail. In Germany as well. All right. So much for free speech. According to the statement, between June 16, 2020 and May 16, 2025, at various times, the politician publicly called for a mass mobilization. Well, let's stop right here. You see the dates? The election was in 2024 in November. You see, nothing happened between 2020 and 2024. So 4 years he was yapping and nobody said anything. When he was the threat that he's going to be in charge, maybe, they found the man, they found the crime. For 4 years, these guys were jerking off and this guy was talking, supposedly, what right now oh my God, remember what he said? So when the name came up, Georgescu, possible the president, we found the crime. 4 years they stayed set on it. They just found out now? And why now? So he's still a danger after he was barred from running. Still a danger. This is just for us to look and say, oh, they set an example. We are not supposed to do that. That's how they do. They don't tell you, don't say this. No, they set an example to someone else that you might like. That's how YouTube operates with me or with people here. When they give you a strike here, they don't tell you, Emil, you said exactly this. You said you violated the community guidelines. And you say, what the hell did I do? And you don't know. That's the whole point. So you don't know. Let's say you think maybe it was this, maybe it was this, maybe it was this. You don't know exactly. So let's say you think of 10. You say, man, this could be the 10 that I said. Next time you will censor yourself and you will never say those things. And maybe why they considered you violated is not even among these ones. Maybe it's the 11th that you never thought of, and you're going to do it again. And when you do it again, you're going to think again, what the hell? I haven't spoken about the 10. Now, what could it be? So you're going to start censoring yourself for something they don't tell you. They don't say, hey, Emil, you said exactly this in those other. So that's how they operate. The same here. They tell you after the fact to something that this guy might have said or said, and they interpret it. I'm going to tell you how they interpret it. Right there. Mass mobilization, this is what he said. Mass mobilization of the nation to create a new man. That is a better man. Isn't that better man and a loser man? Under the auspices of Orthodox Christian mysticism. So in your knowledge, who is the enemy of Christ? You don't say Satan. The Church of Satan. Or the... Okay. Who is it? Who are the ones who are really negating or refusing to accept Jesus? And they call Jesus right now boiling in excrements down there with his mother, who is considered a lady of the night in the Talmud. Oh my God. But that's a fact. What I'm saying, everything I'm saying here, it's a fact. In the Talmud, it's written that as we speak, Jesus Christ, who was a faker, according to these guys, in the Talmud. It's not me saying that. Go and read it. So you too, if you're imbeciles, go and check the Talmud. He's right now boiling in the excrements down there in hell with his mom, Maria. Not Maria Magdalena, the other one. So, all right. So who might hate Christianity? Do you think it's the Buddhists? I'm talking about religiously right now. Do you think Buddhist? Do you think Shinto? Do you think, I don't know, Islam? The Quran considers Jesus Christ a great teacher. Well, see how the Judeo-Christian guys consider Jesus Christ not even a teacher, a fake, phony. That's a fact. I'm not saying that. First, I have no beef in these guys with their thing with his coming back, bearded guys going, I don't know, not me. But nevertheless, and urged, so he wants a new man, a better man, I would say. How do you create a new man? Through education, new culture. So that means when I said that Romania needs a cultural revolution to change the Romanian mind in a certain way, and am I bad? They can interpret it however they want. All right, and urge the emergence of, and I'm quoting, a charismatic and authoritative leader capable of facilitating this process. All right. What is authoritative? Not authoritarian. There's two different things. Authoritative is the guy who asserts the authority based on the law or the regulation. Authoritarian and authoritative is different things. Guys, when you talk to a kid, you can be authoritarian too, but you're authoritative. It's two different things, but they leader capable of facilitating this process of reshaping the Romanian culture. Don't the Americans say that they are exceptional? That's different. That's a different man. That's a different human being. Aren't those guys claiming that they are the chosen ones? That's a different man, isn't it? Anyway, but some people are not allowed to have that. The prosecutors added that Georgescu exalted Romania's historic past. He exalted it in the way he wanted, not the way the prosecutors wanted. Espousing populist ultranationalism. So ultranationalism, as they call it, is you love your country very, 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 very much. Your nation. Because you're part of a tribe, a nation. Hey, this is diversity and inclusion. That's where it comes, that one. You can be a nation. A nation is a mismatch of everybody. Why? Because we're all the same except the chosen. All right? And the exceptional. So then we have ultranationalism. And then they use one, as I know, historical event that was a tragedy. And they put it together, and it's because of that, never do it again. That is because, let's say, Moses went and erased the Canaanites and Amorites in those old. Well, that means all this guy over here should never be trusted again. Or the guys who did that, they're forever, never believe the what? how do you call it? I'm getting crazy here. Religion? Let them pray, man. Let them do whatever. Don't impose it on anybody else, though. So there you have it. Ultranationalism, boom, like far right. Adolf Hitler, Friedrich Nietzsche, Richard Wagner. There you go. And then you got obviously Thomas Malthus, and you got eugenics and so on. You got all these guys ready over there. You're supposed to hate that. Why? Because someone else hated for you. The politician is also accused of lionizing Ion Antonescu, Romania's World War II military dictator. Lionizing. Well, you see, we are supposed to think in absolutes. When they tell us that that guy is the most evil guy in the world and he had no positives, they're lying. They're not talking about Antonescu, of anybody. Unless you think of the devil and divinity. That when you think like that, yeah, all good, all bad. There's no such a thing, okay? Your mom, your dad, my mom, my dad, my wife, your spouse. We have some evil stuff. We did some evil. We lied at least once in our lives. We did something. We did many good things, but we're not all good. So in the case of Antonescu, yeah, he was to a certain extent a lion, but he'd made some mistakes as well, didn't you? Didn't the prosecutors? You think so? Let's move on. These guys, Radio Free Europe, reported Georgescu faces up to 3 years in prison and restrictions on some of his rights. There you go. With the maximum sentence potentially increased by another 3 years, he was detained on February 26, 2024. Ready? There he was. On November 24, 2024, Romania held the first round of its presidential elections. According to the final vote count, pro-Russian candidate Georgescu received 22.94. Danger of the vote, while pro-European candidate Elena Lasconi got 19, sending both to a runoff. And then the Constitutional Court cancelled it. They call him pro-Russian because he said, well, these are our neighbors. Maybe these guys are lying altogether. Maybe it's not exactly the same, all evil. Maybe we should have a good relation with these guys. Because after all, who's good? The United States of America? Trump is good? Well, if you want to look at their history, then you're going to find out that not really. I mean, the record, evidence. You want me to give you some examples? Let's start with American-Mexican War. Then let's, if you want, go to, how do you call it, Philippines. And then if you want, go and see how these guys got, for instance, half of America from Mexico, American-Mexican. Go to American-Spanish War if you want. If you want, go to the Texas, how they got Texas. Go to how they purchased half of Mexico while their troops were in Mexico City because of that. And then if you want, you can go to Second World War. Then you can go to Vietnam. And then go back a little bit to war crimes, 2 atomic bombs dropped on civilian cities. That's a war crime by definition. So no, what I'm trying to say is not these guys are like that or those are like that. I'm saying it's in, good and bad, but we are supposed to think of Antonescu or this guy or all evil. All right? So now we have a pro-European and a pro-Russian. He was not pro-Russian. Somewhere in Georgescu's speeches, he said that we should not look at the Russians as being as these guys say it. Maybe we should look differently a little bit. You're not allowed to. There you have it. And then this is what happened. Then the so-called German, he's a German, ethnic German. Then President Klaus Johannes declassified documents related to Georgescu's election campaign. The documents reportedly confirmed that the aggressive campaign was conducted in violation of the Romanian election laws. Then, by the time this guy, Johannes, was not supposed to be president in December 5, 2024, just so you know. But hey, he stayed on. So the following day, the Constitutional Court annulled the results. This guy I don't think he worked for Romania, just so you know. So, and then you have, on May 18, European Mayor Nicu Șordan, just look at his face and how he walks, won the Romanian presidential elections with 54 votes, Okay, what did he say? He says certain things. So, let's go to these guys. So these guys are they say that he was promoting Iron Guard. These are the Nazis with Corneliu Zelia Codreanu and so on. There you have him. All right, and here you have, he supposedly supports these guys, plus this guy, Ion Antonescu. This is the guy they say he is a marshal. Right there, he was the Holocaust and I don't even know what that is. And then we have the execution of Mr. Antonescu, right there. This is Antonescu. This is, I think, this is his brother and two more ministers and so on. So he was tried in Soviet Union by the Soviets. And who was in charge of Soviet Union? The Georges, the Kaganoviches, the Berias, and so on. And in Romania, it was done a Pauker. All right, I'm going to show you who these guys are. So, in this is a video you don't find on YouTube, I think, anymore. Maybe you do, but I watched it when it was on other areas. I can't say it. And before he's executed, he takes his head out and said, "Long live Romania," or something like this. And then he got shot, and then got shot while he's down. And I saw the whole thing. You can go. So, who killed that guy? He was pro-Romanian, pro-Christian Orthodox. I'm listening, nationalist. Look at a certain who hates this kind of ideology. And we are supposed to hate it as well. If you remember these guys, I'm not crying for them. I'm not crying for this guy or for that woman over there. Obviously, this is Nicolae Ceausescu and Elena Ceausescu. I am crying for the way they murdered our leaders. That's how. You know the date they were executed? On the holy day, your holy day, of the 25th of December, 1989. 25th of December is a celebration in all Christian world. It's the birth of your Savior Jesus Christ. And these guys killed him. Killed two people. Committed murder. Why? Who would like that to happen? A Christian, do you think, would do such a sacrilege? Some might, and some traitors did it for them. Remember, Antonescu was also a nationalist. The other guy also an ultra-nationalist with a new man, with the Romania, with Romanian Orthodox Church. Wait, I'm not done. And here is the current president of Romania, Nicu Șordan. Is that, what sets his neck? Is that the Grinch colors or something? What the fuck is that color? Anyway, this is the baboon. Why do you say baboon? Listen, I'm not 16 years old. I'm not an imbecile, I think, and I don't pretend to be. After a life, experience, understanding, information, knowledge, some of us are capable of, first minute after you see a person walking in a room, understand kind of what kind of person that is by his look, by the way he walks, by the way he talks. He can't be a genius like that. Maybe he's a genius in mathematics, but in life I don't think he's a genius. So this is, I wanted to go and watch some videos on this guy, and you tell me who this guy is. Now, my assessment is this guy is a clown at best. Unfortunately, he's a dangerous clown because he, I think, is doing the bidding of other interests that are not Romanian. So this is the new elected guy. I know that. I look at him and I base my knowledge and my conclusion on the way he walks, the way he talks. I don't need more. It's like if he walks like a duck, talks like a duck, shits like a duck, he's probably a duck. This guy is no leader. He's not. Anyway, let's move on. Do you remember who this guy was? Lazar Kaganovich. Moisievich. All right. So he was born in a Jewish family. Well, he was a communist. He was a guy associated with something that you don't remember, probably don't know. Responsibility for 1932-1933 famine. And that is the Holodomor. He was one of the guys in charge. But we know only about Stalin. Only Stalin. He was one of those guys. Why? He didn't care. Those were Ukrainians. And remember, it was not only Ukrainians who died in Holodomor. There were Romanians, there were Poles, and others. So he didn't care. Why? They were not his people. I guess, I don't know. I'm just asking questions, and I'm allowed to. And then we have these guys. Do you remember these guys? Murder of Romanov family in the basement? Well, let me show you who's listed first as the criminal. First, not, and you tell me why. Why is he, or this guy, the first and not the somewhere? The murderers, murderers. Oh, right. And we have here the first one in the list. Where are you? Chikupokopaka Zuparaka right here. And we have, Yurovsky, where the hell are you? Murders. I'm sorry. Not here. Go down more. Murderers. Right here. History professor of Papa from Ural State University established that the executioners were. And the first one is the YY. So this, you see, when you make a list and you put the murderers, you put them in an alphabetical order, or you put them in the order of importance. That was in charge of the guys. So I'm going to show you who Yakov or Jacob Yurovsky was. Okay, I'm not connecting any dots, my friends. Right here, this guy right here, and his name is Yakov Mikhailovich Yurovsky. All right, there you go. He is a Papa. Yurovsky was commander of the guard during the murder of Romanov family. He is known as the chief executioner of Emperor Nicholas II. Right? And right there you have his daughter. He was from a Jewish family, and we move out. So as of now, we have a few guys, and then we have our leaders in certain days and by certain things. And we're going to go to one of the leaders of Romania after the communists were allowed by the free world to reign in Romania. Anna Pauker, her real name was Hannah Robinson. All right, and she was religious Orthodox Jewish family in Poko. She was a criminal. And she was in charge in 47, I think, when this guy was executed. Wasn't executed Antonescu in 48? Let me see when he was executed. In 46. So she was not there, but she was with a leader of Romania, just so you know, Anna Pauker, Hannah Robinson. She was on the Times magazine's cover letter, like the Stalin, the woman Stalin, or something like this. So she was in office from 47 to 52. Right here, a criminal. Next, and this is not that, obviously. See if I have anything else. Give me a man. I gave you everything I got. So be careful what you say. It could be interpreted. Remember, they found the crime after he was a danger to them. The same. When you become, they let you leave. Only when you become uncomfortable and you start rocking the boat a little bit, then they come and get you. What will happen with Georgescu? Unless someone else from outside intervenes, as intervened in the name of, in the case of Netanyahu, and said, drop the prosecution. And they did in Israel. That was Trump. Supposedly. He didn't tell them. He just wrote, stop the prosecution. He had a hearing, I think, this weekend. Netanyahu and Trump posted that Netanyahu should not attend the hearing. They should drop it. And coincidentally, what a coincidence, right? They dropped it. So maybe he can do the same thing with Romania and say something. Or he doesn't really care about Romania, because why he get in that situation? They do whatever they want anyway. The Romanians are doing whatever the Americans want anyway. He doesn't care who the baboon in charge is. Nevertheless, so here it is. Georgescu was accused of saying something or promoting something. Well, free speech, Romania. Now, I have no doubt, no, I don't want to be that some certain people, if they travel to Romania for just exercising their freedom of speech and I don't know, having opinions or saying maybe things are not as bad as these guys claim. Maybe that guy is not as good as these guys claim. Maybe we are not supposed to hate that person. Maybe we are supposed to love that person and vice versa. You could be indicted on the airport, arrested and go on. And then what? You're going to show your American passport? So here is with Mr. Calin Georgescu, my friends. You get your Nicușor. He doesn't even know how to walk. But anyway, I learned, according to our civilization, the Greco-Roman civilization, not the Judeo-Christian, whatever, that mens sana in corpore sana. That is, healthy brain in healthy body. You can't be awkward in everything that we see, but be a genius somehow when you're in front of the generals and Putin and you're like, listen, buddy, I want to smack you around in front of everybody if you don't shut up. You think that's the way he is? No, I mean, you can think that way, go and vote probably, but no, that's not the way it is, my friends. That's not the way it is. And he's not an actor. He is oh my God. But what do you want? He has to, we had Biden here. Why are you crying? Biden was not even able to function as a human being. Frankenstein, clearly. The next one could be a guy with, I don't know, in a coma, newly elected, and people, advisors around, appointed by we don't know who, around the countries. So we are in bad shape, my friends. We the people, so-called, we are in bad shape. Clearly. And you have all kind of people say, how? You show me. Who? Starmer? Macron? Scholz or Merz now? Nicușor? Trump? Before him, Biden? Obama? All this. We're in bad shape, my friends. And it's going to get worse. Look what they did to these guys. I think Trump is not an exception. I think Trump agreed to do certain things. That's why he was allowed to be on the list of potential, presidents. And then we confirmed their choice. That's what we did through the electronic voting machines. So you have Romania. Romania has never been, I'm not saying a democracy, but the system was always, I think, I don't want to say rigged in both sides, because I think after the revolution the Russians had a power a little bit in Romania, but then the power is gone. Why? Yeltsin was weak. Yeltsin was owned, the Russians were owned by the Americans at those times. So when you say, well, Iliescu, then the president of Romania, was the Russians' tool, yeah, he was, but Russia was owned. You know what I mean? So the chain of command is Romania, Iliescu, supposedly by Russia, Yeltsin, but Yeltsin is owned by the Americans. What are owned in what way? The American State Department had advisors in Mr. Yeltsin's election campaign, the second time. CIA had offices in Moscow. The Russians did not have KGB offices in Washington, D.C. The Americans had permanent observers, as military, in the Russian bases where they have nuclear warheads. The Russians did not have that. What the hell else you want? And in charge of Russia was another guy, with some other guys called Hanna Robinson, Yakov Yurovsky, Lazar Kaganovich, and so on. And when Putin came over, he said, come over here. How did you make your millions? How did you start your first million? Never ask a millionaire how he got to the first million. Never. Only after that, because everything is clean after that. I'm exaggerating. But nevertheless, he said, come over here. All right, sit here. Okay. Borozovsky, whatever, what's going on here? You tell me. And he asked these guys, and they flew to London. He didn't kick them out. They flew because he asked them about, how did you make the first million again? With whose money? From where? What banks? What wealth you had? And they was like, you want money? And Putin said, no, I'm a nationalist. Oy vey. You got it? So now it's Calin Georgescu. Calin Georgescu, as I stated in many of my videos, has a few options. And if he's got indicted and charged, that means he's a man of his, I don't know, how should I put it, integrity. He stands by his own thing. He's going to probably go to jail, and he's going to come out, and he's going to be barred for life for running, and who knows, maybe he's going to get a stroke or a heart attack or something, or maybe he's just going to say, fuck off, you guys, I'm going to go somewhere else, to Tahiti. Thank you very much for being with me again today. You connect the dots. Some of them. This is not the entire thing. I'm not like, let me tell you how things are. No, but get the connections between our leaders and the connections of why, for what ideals they were killed like dogs. Antonescu, bad dude, right? Georgescu, bad dude, right? Calin Georgescu is going out. Romanov family, out. After all, he was a Russian. Well, kind of together with the Brits, and the Brits they're actually Germans. The British crown actually is German crown, or their origin comes from Germany. It's like whatever his name, Kasakrov, Karkov. There's not. Your king is of German descent. Anyway, look at that. It's a German house, if I remember. But anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.